Hello, Taylor Elwood here, and welcome to the Quest for the Sacred Masculine. Today, I wanted to talk about the power of habits and how habits can make or break your life. So, the thing is as men, we know that the choices we make are important, and it's the habitual choices that are really important. The choice where, for example, you hit the snooze button instead of getting up when the alarm goes off, or the choice where you choose to eat that extra donut instead of going out for a walk, or the choice where you choose to drink one more drink, or get online and watch porn because you're feeling horny, but you don't really know what else to do. Our habits make or break us. And when we are living our lives, it's really important to be in touch with ourselves from a place of presence and power, both for ourselves and for the people in our lives. So we have to look at our habits very carefully. And I'll say, as someone who has sometimes had some bad habits, I know, how easy it is to fall into those. We fall into bad habits sometimes because those habits in the moment feel good. For example, someone who ends up drinking that extra drink of alcohol, in the moment that feels good, but the next day when they wake up with a pounding headache because they have a hangover, it doesn't feel so good. Or when they're driving home and they get into an accident, or even if they don't, but they take some dangerous risks, that also doesn't feel good. The power of habit is a powerful one because our choices make us. And so every day when we make choices, at the same time, we have to recognize that a lot of our choices are habitual, they're patterned. We can go on and say, oh, I've got free will, but how many times do you make a choice where you don't even think about it because it's just something that you do? For example, I brush my teeth after every meal. That's a choice I'm making. It's also a habit. It's not something I really think about. I just go and I do it because I want my teeth to smell good and I want to feel good about it. That's what I'm talking about with habit. Our habits make or break us. And so it's really important for us to make good habits. As a man, when you find yourself indulging in bad habits, you'll find that those habits take you away from your purpose and mission. For example, if you make the choice to watch porn on your computer instead of writing that novel that you're working on, in the moment it might feel good, but afterwards you might feel a sense of shame. You might feel a sense of loneliness. All of these feelings are quite normal, and yet a lot of times we end up, as men, we, instead of addressing and speaking to what we're feeling, we go and do activities that help us to feel maybe a bit less powerless, but in the process actually emphasize how powerless we feel. I remember a while back I made the choice to stop drinking. I had been with an ex-girlfriend who was an alcoholic, and she liked to drink a lot, and while I was with her I drank more alcohol than I had ever drunk before in my life. I would end up polishing off an entire bottle or a couple bottles of wine with her. And after a few times of waking up with a hangover and not feeling good about it, and also questioning some of the decisions I made, once I broke up with that girlfriend, I still had an occasional drink, but I don't know, about a half a year after that, I decided I don't want to drink again. I don't like how this makes me feel. I don't like the decisions that I make when I drink. And it was probably one of the most empowering and rewarding experiences of my life to make that choice. But it was also hard sometimes because sometimes I'd go out and I would want to drink and I would feel like I was missing out by not drinking. I share that because I think it's really important to recognize that, we're going to make choices in our lives. And some of those choices are going to feel like they're hard to follow through on. Even right now in the morning, what I'm doing now is I'm getting up and I'm exercising. I'm getting up and exercising in part because my partner said to me, she's like, I noticed you're getting a bit more of a belly. And I kind of felt like, yeah, maybe I was. And so I thought about it and I'm like, I need to start instituting some getting more active again. It's wintertime and it's cool, but I forced myself to go out and walk in the evening or do some kind of martial arts. And in the morning, what I'm doing is I'm getting up out of bed and I'm making the choice to do some simple exercises just to kind of get my day started. And it was interesting because I noticed her response was to be like, I noticed that you're exercising, and she seemed to really appreciate it. And I want her to be attracted to me. So naturally that is one reason I'm doing it. But part of it, the reason I'm doing it is because I'm healthy, and because I want to be healthy, and because I like it when I don't have too much weight. And I remember when I had a lot more weight and I didn't like how I looked or how I felt. I didn't feel good about myself a lot of the time. But I kind of went with it because that's what I had at the time. But again, that's the power of choices. We can make our own choices. We can make better decisions in our lives. And sometimes we make those decisions by making the choice to do some kind of activity that helps us recognize what is healthy for us and good for us, instead of continuing to do something that makes us feel like crap. I think it's really important to own up to and acknowledge that the choices we make help define us and shape us. And some of those choices can be healthy ones and good ones, and some of them aren't. But we get that opportunity to make the choice each day. And even though habits are just that, they're habitual pattern behavior, we also have the choice to change that habitual pattern behavior. And when we do change that habitual pattern behavior, that's when we change our lives for the better. So if you're kind of looking at your own life and there's a habit that you want to change, I would urge you to really take a look at that and ask yourself, what could I change? And then make that choice. And if you need help with that, I'm happy to help you. You can reach out to me, leave a comment here, contact me through my website, and let me help you out. That's one of the things I do as a men's coach. I help men make better choices in their lives and get realigned with their mission and purpose. All right, thanks for watching and have a great day.